Hi, my name is Megan, and today I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make Country Life Natural Foods' brand new, delicious vegan ranch seasoning. So the great thing about this ranch is how easy it is to make. For this first version, you only need 3 things. You need tofu. We would recommend the silken tofu because you're going to get a creamier texture for your ranch. The ranch seasoning, star of the show, and water. So I have already deboxed my tofu here. I'm going to add this to my blender. Flop. Flop, flop. And then I'm going to just unscrew the top of this. The nice thing about these lids is when you open them, they do have a little pop. So if you have a little measuring spoon, you can put it in there so you can shake or dip. I'm just going to unscrew the whole thing. So I've got my ranch seasoning. It smells so good. And then I have my tablespoon measure. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. 1 and 2. And those were both a little skimpy and a little extra never hurt anybody. So there's my 2 tablespoons of ranch. And then the last thing I need is a 1/2 cup of water. So now I have all of our ingredients in our blender. I'm gonna put the lid on. Always, always, always put lids on blenders before blending. And we're just gonna start on slow and crank it up and turn it back down. All right, it is all blended. I'm just gonna take a peek in and make sure it looks pretty thoroughly blended, and it does. It's as simple as that. So it's all nice and blended, and look at how creamy and smooth this ranch is. Perfect for salads. If you add more water, it'll be runnier. If you add less water, it'll be thicker. Customize the texture to your liking and choosing. In front of me here, you will see what is known as an immersion blender. For this method of making our ranch, you could totally use a regular blender. I really like immersion blenders because I find that they are easier to clean. For this method, we are going to use 3/4 cup of cashews, which I have measured out here. And then instead of using cold water, I am going to use boiling water. So this method does take slightly longer. I prefer it because the fat of the cashews really brings out more of the flavor in the ranch. So if you're looking for something quick, totally go with the tofu. If you are going for extra flavor, go with the cashews. I am going to let these cashews sit until they're soft, should be about 5 minutes. And I'll see you when we get back. All right, we are back. Our cashews have been soaking for about 5 to 10 minutes. You definitely could let them go longer if you were in the middle of prep. You set these off, so don't stress it. You don't need a timer. Just let them soak until they're soft. I am going to take my immersion blender. We're going to go ahead and give them a good blend. Now that our cashew cream is blended, I am going to add 2 tablespoons of our ranch seasoning, just like we did with the tofu. It's a little bit tricky around this stick here, but we're just gonna put it right on top there. There's 1. And then there is 2. Now we don't want to blend this too much because we want to be able to keep some of our grains. So at this point, I'm mostly blending to mix. I'm going to pick up my immersion blender a little bit so I can go on top of the seasoning, and that way it doesn't all fly up the sides. You might notice along the sides here, right where I put in the ranch seasoning, you can see a bit of a buildup. So I'm going to take a spatula and I'm just going to run my spatula along the sides of that to scrape it all down. Now, you might be wondering, as you watch me make this with tofu and as you watch me make this with cashews, why would I take the extra time to make this with cashews? Well, let me tell you. Cashews have a higher fat content than tofu does. And because of that, it's going to bring out a lot more creaminess and richness in your ranch dressing. So a lot of people think it has a much richer, creamier, more ranch-like experience than the tofu version does. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it into our container. And there is our ranch made with cashew cream. This is still going to be warm because remember, we used boiling water. So you want to refrigerate this. But that brings me to a good point. Both of these ranches are going to be better with time to develop. Let them sit for at least 10 minutes before serving, but the longer you let them sit, the more flavor they're going to have and the more those flavors are going to meld and merge together. So it would be great if you could make these the day before for whatever your applications may be. The third way we're going to use our ranch is just straight out of the bottle. I have some steamed broccoli here and I'm just gonna shake this all over it and enjoy. It's delicious on broccoli, potatoes, popcorn. I have some carrots that I can dip in my regular that I made ranch. You should definitely give it a go. It's delicious. So there you have it. 3 different ways to enjoy our delicious ranch. We made it with tofu, we made it with cashews, we sprinkled it on some veg, steamed broccoli, roasted potatoes, anything else you can imagine. We do have a third recipe listed on our website. So if you're interested in buying yourself a bottle or seeing what that third method of preparation is, you can go check it out on our website, countrylifefoods.com. Enjoy your ranch.